Bring us aboard here, James.
Bring us aboard. All aboard. All aboard. We are live.
Welcome to the Barrel Buddies. This is a Barrel Buddies special because A, it's Tuesday night.
It is.
B, that's special because we normally film on Thursdays.
Right.
C, we are not in the regular Barrel Buddies studio.
We are not. We are in a winter wonderland today.
We're in my winter wonderland. Welcome to Casa de Askins.
Ah!
Casa de Askins, winter wonderland where Christmas threw up everywhere. But that's just how we do. So, welcome, and we're glad that you are already joining us. We already have two folks joining us live. Welcome.
Cheers, welcome. And I'm
cheers.
still, I'm over here just getting our social media going, so give me a moment.
So while
folks.
you do that, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our pregame cocktail. Tonight, as always, we are pre-gaming from the brewery out of Placenta, California. The brewery, Patrick Rue. I hope that you're going to listen someday and help a hoarder out. This guy, he's the hoarder. Tonight we're drinking Pasas Picasso, a double barrel-aged ale with raisins, vanilla beans, and cinnamon. It's weighing in at 19.1%. That's kind of big, but it's kind of normal for the brewery. And this is an interesting story here. We believe that beer is part science and a big part art. Pasas Picasso was inspired by rum raisin ice cream, which in turn originated by the European dessert Malaga. I don't think I'm saying that right, but Malaga? Oh yeah. Picasso was from the city of Malaga in Spain. Get it? Pasas Picasso was aged in bourbon barrels for 1 year before being transferred into rum barrels for an additional year. It exudes rich raisin and barrel character backed by creamy vanilla and just a hint of spice. I'm going to tell you right now, it's hot and spicy up front. But it's got a richness that finishes this, that lets me know that in about a year, this beer, if you have this and you let it sit for another year, this is going to be pure bottled magic. It's going to be amazing. Really smooth, and I think it's got a foamy, creamy vanilla character that you'd get out of like a root beer as a finish. Big front, spicy end, but nice creamy vanilla finish.
Yeah, let me jump right in and Shelly says, hi guys, what a nice surprise. Shelly, cheers, welcome.
Cheers, Shelly.
To our Random Tuesday. I know last week we talked about having the show on
Wednesday,
but we figured let's have it tonight before some people get,
a lot of stress to do it the night before.
Yeah, the night before, people have stuff going on. We get it, so we didn't want to have the show.
Got your hand up a turkey cavity, and then you're like, wait, Barrel Buddies, what? Next thing you know, it's our fault that you didn't get it done in time, and we just can't have that stress.
Right, exactly.
Can't do it. Yeah, what do you think of that?
Wow, so
it's drinking big.
It's heavy. It's big. What's our ABV on that?
19.1%.
Woo!
It's big.
19.1%. That really wets the whistle.
I'm telling you, in a year, that's gonna be magic. I mean, pure magic.
So, for those who don't know, this is the brewery's anniversary ale. So they take this and then they basically add the adjuncts to it. So it has those additional flavors: that raisin, the vanilla beans, cinnamon.
Yeah.
Rum barrel age. So you get that rum cake raisin cinnabon-y type flavor. But this is tasty.
That's a good way to put it. Cinnabon.
Yeah.
It's a Cinnabon raisin.
It's very Cinnabon.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think it's...
Giovanna out there in the chat says, is this live?
It is live.
It is live. Welcome to the show.
And welcome to the chat, Giovanna.
Yeah.
I don't get the same cinnamon character out of this as like you would out of Foster's Happiness.
Yeah, not as cinnamon.
It's not cinnamon forward, which is good.
Well, and that's what you have to be careful of when you drink some of these cinnamon beers out there, especially during the holiday times.
Oof.
All these big companies like to throw this pumpkin spice beers out there. 99% of them are garbage. I'm sure you all have had a pumpkin beer around this time of year, and these companies pitch them, and they're really just either super cinnamon, like a bunch of cinnamon, overpowering allspice, overpowering
bunch of lactose
star anise.
sweetness.
Yeah. And they're usually not that good. I don't know
They're
of
not.
any pumpkin beer that I'm like, ooh, pumpkin beer.
I'm going to give you one.
What do you got?
So, Hop and Frog.
Hop and Frog's what?
Double pumpkin barrel-aged stout.
Wow, okay.
The Hop and Frog double pumpkin is awesome. It's so good. It's hard to get because it's in Ohio. But if you're in the Midwest, go get the Hop and Frog double pumpkin. It's there.
All right.
It's good.
Shelly says, if this one will be magic in a year, what point does it meet its peak and go back down?
That's a you question.
So here's the thing with these brewery beers. So they're known for their 17 to 21% alcohol beers, which are huge. I mean, that's borderline Ripple, borderline creme de menthe, brandy. You're right at that borderline of not really being a beer. So what happens traditionally with these 20%ers is you let them sit for a year, they'll mellow out. So what we mean by mellowing out is that ethanol kick. So when a beer is freshly brewed, and it happens a lot with whiskeys, not so much when they're freshly brewed, but when you get that smell and it's super that alcohol, rubbing alcohol, ethanol smell, beers have that same front end as well. So that first smell you get is just kind of overpowering. And
this one definitely has it.
Yeah.
This one's got it.
So what you do with whiskeys is the longer they sit in the bottle, it doesn't change. Like with whiskeys, there's no additional aging when they're in a glass bottle. But with beers, there is. So what happens is there's a mellowing process. That alcohol will fade, and some of the flavors will fade, and it really is kind of a crapshoot. You can't say what a beer is going to taste like a year, 2 to 5 years down the road. But if a beer is above 10%, I would say confidently you could age it indefinitely. I would say 1 to 10 years. So
under the right conditions,
under the right conditions and cellaring. I mean, you'll notice oxidation, which is that cardboard Band-Aid taste, that papery cardboard. I'm trying to describe oxidation. You'll get that papery.
I like the Band-Aid taste. Yeah,
Band-Aid smell.
It's not cardboardy, but yeah, I know what you mean. It's
like oxidation,
medicine-y, rubbery.
Yeah, like you open
and
a first
taste.
aid kit and you just get that weird gauze bandage smell. I know that's really hard. That's a weird descriptor.
But you know what we're talking about.
If you know
that smell.
You know that smell. So that oxidation can happen to beer, and that can happen for a few reasons. That can happen because it wasn't cellared properly, and you got to remember, beer is a living product.
It's alive.
It's alive. There's still potential fermentation going on in the bottle.
Yeah.
There's still potential cultures that are, doing their thing and still processing alcohol in there, albeit ever so slowly.
James, look at the legs on this beer. This beer has legs.
Yeah,
beer does not
crazy
typically
stuff.
have legs.
I don't know. I know you.
But
really
this
can't
beer
see that
has
in the camera.
legs, and it has tight legs. I mean, the legs on this, the alcohol content.
Yeah,
is
I'm doing
high.
a bit of a swirl for our friends out there in the audience.
I mean, this has got legs on it.
And this is just brown, this is almost like maple syrup consistency.
Yeah. Yeah, fresh maple syrup.
Yeah,
not
and
store
there's
brand.
no carb. I don't see any carb.
The carb was there when we poured, but it's
mellow
really,
carb.
really gone.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, yeah. Now, again, under the right conditions, keep it in a dark place, bottom of a closet, bottom of your pantry somewhere.
50 to 65 degrees.
Ideally, a fridge,
careful.
a wine fridge.
Dark. So sun will kill beer immediately. Not immediately, but it's not good.
It'll
Don't leave
kill
it on
it.
a windowsill.
So you mean on the floor in my sliding glass window door?
Yeah.
I shouldn't leave it right there to just sit and bake every day.
No, don't.
That's good, right?
And that goes for whiskey. So one thing I try to tell a lot of my friends, when you go to the store and you buy a whiskey, say you're starting your errands first thing Saturday morning, you're like, hey, I'm gonna go stop at the liquor store. I need to grab a few bottles. If you're gonna go spend over $50 on a bottle, don't leave it in the car if it's a hot summer day.
No.
It can
Even on a
adversely affect
no sun.
the bottle.
No sun.
Especially we're in Vegas, you have a hot summer day, it's 110 outside, when it could be 150 in that car, that can really mess up that bottle that you have.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of the alcohol stores out here out west don't take returns, because during the summer they don't know.
Yeah.
Oh well, he probably left the bottle in the car. We're not taking it back, because they can't risk putting it on the shelf again. They don't know what people were doing with it, right? So be careful. Try to get it home as soon as you can. Whenever you're buying any whiskey product, same goes with a beer product. Don't.
Yeah, always look for that. Did it bake? Does it look like it sat out in the sun? Does it look like it's been hidden away somewhere?
Yeah, and you can see that. I mean, look at the condition of the bottle, look at the label. You sometimes just got to take people's word for it, and most people in the beer whiskey community are fairly reliable.
Yeah.
And you should be okay if you're buying a bottle from a stranger, I guess.
So that's our pregame.
That's our pregame. So we're going to jump right in. So tonight's episode, we have 2 special tasty treats tonight.
Ooh, don't we? Oh my God.
We have... So, Kirkland. So for our friends out there that know the Costco, the mega chain warehouse store, the store brand of Costco is the Kirkland brand. So let me see if I can get that bottle up to the camera.
Want to get that up to the camera there for us?
So in their alcohol area, they have this gem, and I'm sorry it's not focusing there, but that is a 20-year Kirkland brand Speyside
single malt,
not Scotch
blend,
whiskey.
Single malt.
And this is so what Costco does, and there's a lot of stories out there with this, is that Kirkland, because Kirkland does this with vodka, they do it with tequila, they do it with all of these different big brands of alcohol or types. And what they say the story is that Costco goes out to these distilleries and these manufacturers that basically go through their quality control, and they're like, this doesn't meet 100 points of our quality control. Let's sell it to Costco at a discounted price instead of drain pouring it. Costco buys it up, labels it Kirkland. They cut a deal with the distillery, then you say you can't use our name on the bottle. And then they sell it as their Kirkland brand. And there's a lot of, rumor mill that the vodka all comes from Grey Goose. It's the Grey Goose, seconds. I'm pretty sure I saw a handle of the Kirkland vodka for $25, $30. I think that's what it goes for.
No, it goes for less than that.
Or maybe it's 20.
So you can buy the Kirkland.
I'm talking about the handle, the 175.
$25.
The big guy.
That's killer. Come on, Grey Goose for $25. That's
the equivalent. That's not known. I mean, and they're reaching out to all these different distilleries out there, so it could be anybody. So anyway, to whiskey now, there's distilleries all across the world in Europe that basically, a master distiller goes into the barrel warehouse and they're tasting their product on a daily basis. Talk about a great job to have, right?
Killer job.
Anyway,
a job to kill for.
So what they do is that they might have some barrel that they're like, this is our 20-year. We need to pull a bunch of the 20-year, but then they taste the barrel and they're like, whoa, this isn't it was sitting in a bad spot in the warehouse. It wasn't meeting, their quality. So they're like, let's sit another year. 21 comes around, that 21 year, they taste it again. Excuse me, it still doesn't meet their quality control. So usually they just dump it. But now they can reach out to Costco and say, hey, you guys want a bottle of Kirkland brand? We have a 21-year random whiskey. It's a Speyside. So they can give you some details on it. So specifically with this bottle, there's a picture of a bridge on the bottle, and I'll see if I can show you guys.
That's the hint. It's supposed to be the hint anyways.
Yeah, and that's supposed to be a hint. So apparently this bridge, and I'll have to look it up and find out, but apparently that bridge is near the distillery that this was bottled, and it's the one hint. What are you doing?
I'm trying to just keep going.
You're putting on this weird, going to get a massage music,
yeah.
The salon, and
it's really good.
Weird. It's weird music.
I'm sorry.
Get off that OnlyFans, and can you focus on the show? Please?
I'm watching the show. Hold on.
So anyway, we have this. Jesus, you almost caught a big party foul there. Wow. So we just poured the 20-year. I did spill a little bit. Sorry about that anyway. This is the 20-year Kirkland Speyside.
So here's what I like about this. The first thing I smell when I pour this, when I open the bottle, if you were watching me, as you were giving the background on this, I put my nose to the bottle, and I immediately smelled leather-bound books, rich mahogany. I mean, I smell class. Price Shelley,
That's a
$60.
I want to say 70. I think it was 69.99.
All right.
Yeah.
$70. $70 for a 20-year single?
Yeah.
That's a big deal. That's half price. But I immediately smell old world class. This smells like exactly what you would think, where you would go to drink a 20-year single malt scotch. I mean, a library or a study, a rich roaring fire, a lot of old things that have been well kept, antiquities, things behind glass. It's got a smell of being well kept. That's what I'm getting out of this. A smell of being well kept. It really opens this aroma. It's got a wonderful smell of tobacco. I'm getting great tobacco. And I don't mean just like cigarette. No, I'm talking pipe tobacco. A rich, thick-cut Cavendish that has been slowly burning in nice rosewood. The smell of old paper.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all there. And then there's a sweetness. There's this nice cutting edge. A real fine, like paper thin sharpness. A sweet that I think really cuts through the nose. It's really inviting. It's the kind of thing that invites you in. Like a warm, big, high back, wing back leather chair.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, this is the sherry cask finish, right? So what they do is
There's
have
that
this
sweetness.
You're going to get that sherry cask sweetness. I'm getting grapes. I don't know why I'm getting like...
Interesting, okay.
Yeah, that's strange. But yeah, Old Books Library, definitely.
And I like it. So we talk all the time, right? That you're supposed to smell. You're supposed to go left to right, right to left. Because your nostrils take in different elements. I'll tell you right now, I love the way this smells out of my left nostril. Like, it's so strong.
Patrick Curry, Barrel Buddies. What's going on, Patrick? Cheers.
Cheers, Patrick. Thanks for joining us. It's got a solid bite, but it really goes away fast.
Yeah, but I get some of that peatiness, so I'm getting that.
Really?
Peat. I get some peat.
Real
like
mild
very
peat.
mild.
Real mild peat. But it's enjoyable. It's like just enough peat to be there, but it's not a defining characteristic.
We should introduce mild peat to Biff Tannen.
Mild peat and Biff Tannins, baby. That sounds like a good shirt.
Yes.
Pete and Biff.
And Pete and Biff. Mild Pete and Biff Tannins.
Wow. So do you notice a nose? Do you get a change in the nose here?
Yeah, after we taste it, I'm going to go in for number 2.
Yeah.
There we go.
Almost weeded.
I'm getting like leather.
Big leather. Tobacco. I still
Tobacco.
get that tobacco.
I get the faint tobacco, but it's more leather-bound books and rich mahogany.
It's there.
It's there.
It's
really
such a
is.
characteristic.
Yeah, no, it's really coming through.
I mean, I want to start reading Charles Dickens.
It doesn't have a long finish.
It goes away pretty quick.
I don't get too much sherry. I expected a little bit more sherry.
I appreciate that. I'm not a huge sherry fan.
Yeah.
But this is a real relaxer. Like, this makes me go, ha.
And I'm trying, so I'm going to dig here, and usually some people on Reddit and on the internets are really good about investigating where this came from.
So, I've done a little digging on this, and I'll tell you, most people agree that this is a Glenfiddich.
Okay.
Most people agree this is Glenfiddich. Which I think, listen, I'm not a big fan of Glenfiddich. I just went through their 12, 14, and 15 box. Again, that's a Costco find. That was a good Costco find. 3 bottles, you get a 12, a 15, a 14, and a 15.
Yeah.
The price was good. I think it was $100 through Costco. That was incredible. Not my favorite, but this is better than all 3 of those bottles.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little keep going on the search here, try to find it.
So I think in my third taste there, I'll tell you what I like about that. I actually think in the third taste, the sherry really comes through. I think it's much more pronounced. I get that sweet, earthy, almost, when you taste a sherry, it's almost marshmallowy, or not marshmallowy, mushroomy.
Okay.
That earthy mushroom. So I'm getting that earthy mushroom, and the sweetness, a lot of heat actually in my chest on that third one. Get that warm feeling, and excuse me just a moment, dogs. Yeah, chill out.
Really wild over there tonight.
I know, my 2 dogs. And then the thing I dig is I get the charcoal, the smoke. Now I get that like burning tobacco. It's like that rich burning tobacco smell. I really like this. This is good. And I like that it's not super strong. Hey, chill out. Come on. Strived for attention. Not starved, strived. I said it right.
And I would say, I mean, there's things all over the internet that I can't really decipher. They're torn. It could be Glenfiddich. They're torn. Some people are saying it's Macallan, but I think it's too dark to be a Macallan.
I agree with that.
I think it's got some artificial coloring in it, which leads me to think Glenfiddich sounds reasonable.
I read about the Macallan thoughts. But I've drank enough Macallan that I don't believe this is Macallan.
It's not Macallan. It's got too much of a peat. It's got a peatiness that I've never had tasted with any Macallan.
I think this is smoother than Macallan. If this is a Macallan throwaway, then Macallan did a disservice to themselves.
It's not Macallan, hands down.
I think this is Glenfiddich. I agree. From what I read, a majority of people believe it's the Glenfiddich, and I agree with that.
Yeah, and I don't believe that they do a 20-year age statement in their normal whiskeys, so this makes sense that they would sell this to Kirkland or to Costco.
I dig this a lot. So here's what the back of the bottle says. The Kirkland Signature 20-year-old Speyside single malt scotch was aged in ex-bourbon barrels, then finished for a minimum of 6 months in Oloro's sherry casks. The result is a whiskey that is golden in color with aromas of toasted brown sugar complemented by notes of sherry. The finish is smooth and complex with a hint of dark chocolate. Now, I don't get any chocolate out of this.
So, personal preference, I don't like peat. I just don't like it.
No, you don't.
I don't like Lafroig. I don't like Lagavulin. I don't like Dewar's. I don't like... There's just so many peated... Most of the Johnny Walkers, I'm just not a peated fan. So, I'm going to jump right in. I don't want more of this.
You don't want more?
I don't want more.
Okay.
So I'm going to jump right into my aroma.
Sure.
My aroma smell rating. I thought it was solid smell. I think I'm going to go 2 on my aroma. It was expected. I had sort of high expectations once we cracked this open because it was a 20-year, and you think, wow, it's 20 years old. I'm sure it's got a little bit more complexity to it, but it really didn't. I thought it was a little narrow on the smells, weren't like mind-blowing. But a 2. What do you got?
I agree with that. I give it a 2. I think it's got a solid statement of what it is. Again, getting into the nose, I already said I'm getting that nice fine sweetness, but I think there's a good set of tobacco and leather-bound books, and there is a lot that I think draws you in on this. And that I find the nose to be the high point of this.
I think honestly, you throw this in front of some friends, everybody's gonna dig it. I think this is something that
disagree.
Yeah, I think you can go buy this. Yeah. You'll impress friends.
Oh yeah.
Go spend the $60 to $70 at Costco. Take this to Thanksgiving dinner. Take it to a Friendsgiving, a party you got going on.
Oh, no one's gonna be sad about that.
Nobody will be disappointed in this.
Not at all.
This bottle will be gone.
So I'm gonna jump into the flavor.
Okay.
Or flavor profile here. So again, I think that sweetness that we're getting, that sweet complex flavor, is the sherry.
Yeah.
I don't think it's super pronounced, but I think it's pronounced enough. Again, there's an earthiness there, that mushroom earthiness. But it's got that sweetness that you'd expect out of a sherry.
A little
I think
umami,
it's really
I think, with that mushroom.
Yeah, umami is a good way to put it.
Towards. Yeah.
Which is great. I think it's a really nice balance. And I think that there's a good caramely, like a caramely, charcoaly, creme brulee burnt. It's that brown sugar flavor profile that they talk about on the back.
Wow,
I think is really nice.
You really are deep into this.
It's good, but I'm only going to give it a 2. Because those are all really great flavors. But you said it best. It's really short-lived.
Yeah.
There's something that could be said. We've talked about it on this show about a scotch or a whiskey that's got something that sticks with you. This one really dies. It dies fast.
Yeah,
and that's not bad. I wish it could stick around a little more.
I think of go on our past show if you haven't seen the Elijah Craig show, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, or the Blanton's straight from the barrel. OMG. You want to talk about something that just lingers. And I love that Kentucky hug. I think I'm more of a bourbon whiskey guy. I like Scotch. They're not my number ones. There's just something about a bourbon that has complexity, that Kentucky hug, that flavor that I just keep going back to it. I had trouble drinking this. So my flavor, I want to say a 2, but I almost don't want to give it a 2. I want to give it a 1.5.
Do it.
But that's personal. A lot of personal preferences coming into that. I mean, I think
as it should. We've talked about whiskey tasting. It is a personal thing, man.
Yeah.
Don't be sad about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to give it a 1.5 on flavor.
Good.
So, there you go.
Good.
Definitely no bonus points. The wow bonus it does not get.
No.
For value, absolutely. It's got a great value.
Solid value.
So I think that puts my total score at 5.5 out of 10.
What would you give it on value?
Oh, value we rate? I thought we do 369. Taste. The sheets are right there. Taste,
notes, and value.
Aroma,
and value.
And value. Oh, value, I'd give it a 2.
Yeah.
A 2.
So 5.5.
5.5. There's my 5.5 because I give it a 2. What did you give it for value?
I'm giving it a 2 as well. I think.
Okay.
Listen, this is a solid value. $70. You said it best. Bring this over to a friend's house.
Yeah, that's what it's for.
Wow your friends.
That's what it's for.
100%.
A gift. Gift this Christmas or whatever holiday you celebrate this year. You're giving away gifts. Go get a few bottles. Hand them out.
This is the kind of thing you can drink and not feel guilty about.
Yeah, and if I got this as a gift, I wouldn't be upset. I would enjoy it. I'd probably re-gift it, but I might drink it.
I think this is the kind of thing you drink and you pour graciously and you feel no guilt about, and I think everybody would love you for it, and they're like, oh man, drinking this 20-year single malt scotch, oh, a big deal, and I think that's cool. I also think that this could be a cool thing, especially as the holidays are here. This could be a cool mixer for some high-end mixer cocktails.
You could do a little high-end old-fashioned off that. Can you do it? Yeah, you could do it.
You could do old-fashioned with scotch. Why not? I'm thinking you do a warmed hot toddy, apple cider, a little scotch for the smoky
there you go.
Action.
If you really want to kill that bottle.
And I think that you wow your friends. This is a wow bottle. Oh, wow.
Barn Door's in the chat. Hey there, Barn Door. He said he's a bourbon guy also. I tried some scotches, but I'm just not a fan. So here's the thing. I'm kind of right there with you. I started with scotch, unfortunately, not really knowing what bourbon was many years ago, and I just had friends that drank nothing but really shitty scotch, like Dewar's and Cutty Sark. Dewar's White, Cutty Sark. I was brought up in my early 20s.
Cutty and Coke, baby.
Drinking a lot of shitty scotch, and I regret it because 20 years ago, if I was drinking bourbons, I would probably have some more amazing bottles on my shelf than I do now.
Listen, I like Cutty and Coke. We laugh at it, but it's not so bad.
But, I'm right there with you. Scotch just doesn't give me that warm and fuzzy great feeling of drinking a really good bourbon and a really good whiskey. And I think this is a great show to have.
Yeah.
Because we talk about those differences. And, if we had Zach here with us.
Hey, where's Zach?
Where's Zach? Zach's busy with Thanksgiving preparations.
It's okay. We appreciate him for that. We will on Thursday anyways.
Let me play my violin for Zach.
Rosie, can Zach come out and play?
Hopefully he's watching the show. Give him a hard time.
We love you, Zach. We miss you tonight.
We'll catch you on the next show. But yeah, Barn, I'm right there with you. I would definitely lean more towards bourbons and whiskeys.
Down that, clean out your glass. We've got something special.
Mrs. Askin says alcohol is the perfect 2020 gift. Ain't that a fact?
So, if you were excited about the Kirkland 20-year single malt, as I was, I lost my excitement when you pulled out this very special comparison bottle, the 23-year-old
Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's. Okay, first of all, here's the thing. You got Kirkland making a 20-year single malt. You've got
Not
Trader
making, buying.
Buying and then putting their name on it.
Yeah.
You've got Trader Joe's doing the same thing.
Same thing. Trader Joe's does it too.
Buying a 23-year-old throwaway.
That was $40 when I bought it like 5 years ago.
$40. Guys, it says right here at the bottle, or on the bottom of the bottle, distilled in 1989.
Yeah. So that was what, 2012 is when they got the whole of that.
Is so exciting.
I have not seen this, so unfortunately, I don't think you can get your hands on this anymore. And I hate to do that to you guys out there. I know sometimes we have stuff where we tell you how to get it, and I don't know what this is really going to taste like. I don't really remember a lot of drinking.
I can tell you
this.
the nose out of the bottle is pretty amazing.
Okay.
I'm liking it. I'm gonna pour you a
Well,
dram.
we want to finish this. Yeah, we want to finish it off. So don't be shy here in the pour. So, little backstory. A few years back, Trader Joe's this was one of their things where they were just acquiring. They probably got some killer deal from a distillery. I'll go a little bit through the bottle since BJ did the last one. Yeah. So this is a Speyside single malt Scotch whiskey, 23 years. It's a 40% alcohol. I will read the story on the back, and maybe we can find out where it's from. So it says, named for its location bordering the River Spey, Speyside is the true heart of Scotch whiskey production. Each whiskey region has its own defining characteristic, and Speyside malts tend to have a slightly sweet and a bit peaty with floral notes. Trader Joe's 23-year Speyside single malt is a fine example of the region. It was distilled in 89 and aged in oak casks for 23 years. So this is an oak cask. This is not a sherry cask, Oloroso,
Biff tannins,
Chardonnay, whatever weird barrels they put it in. This lovely dram is dark amber in color with aromas of dried currants and apricots and slightly sweet, smoky flavor that nicely balances the fruity and bitter notes that followed by a smooth and sweet oaky finish. Perfect for any occasion. So this was bottled for the Alexander Murray & Co., Aberdeen, Scotland, and then imported by J&D Wines, Inc., Gardena, California?
Yeah.
So, there you go. I mean, let me do a little internets. Let's ask Google. Maybe Google's figured it out.
I'm going to tell you a little bit about the nose while he does this. Again, left to right, your nostrils here, your olfactory senses are going to pick up different items, but I'm going to tell you, Turkish apricots, dried Turkish apricots. If you put your nose into a bag of dried apricot and add a little cinnamon spice, that's what this smells like. This smells like dried candied apricot.
40% is a low ABV.
It's very low.
Stating that, that's
I agree.
Strange.
It's very low. That's what you're buying right now to kind of get underneath some of the tariffs on Scotch right now. You can buy 40% and under Scotch at your local liquor store, and it's going to be cheaper. And the reason that they're doing that is because they're getting underneath the tariffs, so you can actually still buy affordable Scotch. There's some really good ones out there. Give them a try. Don't turn your nose to them. Now is a great time to try something new. But I'm getting a lot of that dried fruit, little spice, but a lot of that sunshine. Like I think of sunshine when I think of dried fruit, like the way a raisin smells, dried fruit. You can just smell that crystallization of sugar that hasn't fully matured, but there's some version of I hate to say it this way, but rot. It's that rot, but in the way of preservation. It's very present. but there's also a level of peatiness in this. I mean, you can smell it, I think, a lot more than what you could smell it in the Kirkland. A big level of that peat. And just so you know, when we talk about what peat is in Scotch, it's not like they're digging up peat moss and dumping it in. They're using the peat moss as the lighting mechanism to put the barrel char. So they're burning the peat moss to get that barrel char that we talk about with bourbon, where they put it over the fire and they char the interior of the barrel. Well, they're burning peat moss to get you that char, and so you get that peaty, earthy, that peat bog smell, and that's that campfire smell or that campfire taste. That's peatiness when we talk about peatiness in Scotch.
So digging around, not many. It doesn't have good reviews. I'll say that, at least on the Googles.
It's got too low of alcohol.
People
percentage.
really don't know where it's from. They're kind of trying to figure it out. They think it might be Tullibardine. Tullard.
Okay.
Tullibardine. I'm really bad with my distillery names. But that's still not a fact. That's just some rando saying it.
It's a good piece of opinion.
Everybody said for $40, that's kind of exactly as good as it tastes as a $40 worth of Scotch.
All right.
We'll be the judge.
Let's
I mean,
see
it's
what
been
$40.
sitting. It's been sitting for a while, so.
Cheers to all of you.
So I get a ooh. It's not as complex as the 20-year Kirkland, so that's strange. I get kind of grains. I get it's like potpourri. Is that like a smell? Potpourri?
I know what you mean when you say that. Old potpourri, like where
old,
it's lost the
yeah,
the
like
scent.
you're in grandma's bathroom and she has like a 50-year-old like wicker bowl behind the toilet of like those dried potpourri
And
pellets.
it's like it smelled like something at one point, but now it's just kind of
50 years ago, I'm sure it smelled amazing, but it doesn't even smell anymore. But yeah,
I'll tell you, for 40%, it's got a big bite.
my palate must be very used to high ABV alcohols because I just want to pound this. I don't think it has a lot of bite
On
to
the
it.
front of the tongue, I get a ton of bite. But I'll tell you that the rest of it is not pleasant on that first. This was not pleasant.
That potpourri comes through on the flavor.
I agree. That you hit it.
Now that I said it,
Potpourri is all I can get. It's like seaside flavored potpourri that was 50 years old.
I get a hint of peat. There was a lot more peat in the 20-year Speyside sherry cask,
Yeah,
which is strange because that sherry cask I figured would have brought down that peatiness, but I get no peat really.
I don't like this. I know we got to go 3 before we make a judgment, but I'll tell you on my second one.
I got some chunkies in here too. I don't know if you like put a little something in here or what.
I backwashed into yours a little bit.
Like kind of like charcoal,
A lot of
potpourri,
charcoal.
earthy, no really sweetness at all.
Okay, it makes the front of my mouth feel like I took benzocaine. Ambisol.
Yes! OMG, it's totally numbing.
It's very numbing.
Numbing on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, on the tip of the tongue, like you took benzocaine.
And it has that aftertaste of it, too. Astringent
We're
alcohol.
going to clean the pipes with this. We're not drinking the rest of this. Don't
This
put
is
yourself
no bueno.
through that. That's
This
not good.
is bad.
You might go blind.
I don't want to drink anymore.
Don't drink that. You're going to go blind. Gross.
It gets a 1-1-1.
A 1. It gets a 0. I'm not even giving it the respect of a 1.
I mean, for value, no, not even. It's a $40 claim to be 23-year-old whiskey, but it's terrible.
That's the problem. Is you'd think $40 for a 23-year-old whiskey is great.
Yeah.
Instead, it's like kissing a 50-year-old woman who said she was 41 and
38.
And then you're like disappointed.
Yeah. Checked her ID when she was sleeping in the bed.
Not even that far. You checked her ID when she went to the bathroom.
Yeah. I thought there would have been a lot of regret behind that.
A ton.
Yeah.
This
makes me sad.
The regret was talking to her at the bar.
Hey, she paid for the drinks, though, so cheers. That makes up for it.
That's much better. Oh, look at that sunshine just come on through. James,
So-
that was bad.
Do we want to go through the rating, or what do you?
I gave it a 0.
Just straight across the board.
No value. No good nose. Maybe I'll give it a 1.
You got to.
I think the nose is interesting.
Yeah.
The flavor is not good. I think the dried fruit is an interesting nose. But the moment you said old bathroom potpourri, you ruined it for me. It smells like old bathroom potpourri.
Yeah.
I know that's weird for those of you watching. You might not know what that is, but that's what it is.
Yeah. And it's not like, I mean, I've had some bad bourbons, but I can still tolerate those, and I would still give them more points than I'd give this. Like, I would give the Senator a higher score than this.
I drink the Senator over either of these bottles.
Hands down, and I was not a fan, as you all watched a few episodes ago, of that damn Senator rye whiskey.
Interestingly, I'm going to give a shout out to my boy Joey D here, which he won't watch this show for maybe another 3 days. But Joey, when you see this, shout out to you. One of the things he said was revisit the Senator because we may not have cut it enough.
Oh, okay.
He said, you probably didn't put enough water or even enough ice in it. Those barrel proofs at those higher levels, you probably need to cut just a little bit more. That was his thought on the Senator. He and I have been chatting. He hasn't seen, he might have seen the Senator episode by now. And he just said, I've been thinking a lot about that Senator. He and I had been chatting a lot about that episode. And he just said, you might want to retry it and come back and cut it more. Okay. We may come back and do that.
I'm all for that. I'll give Senator a second try. I mean, I want to give it a higher rating because it's got a lot of hype out there. But these,
sad.
It did make me sad, like emotionally sad after I drank that.
It was so exciting. I was so excited. It's such a letdown.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna get like a amazing, just like boom,
a magic find. No magic find.
No, and unfortunately Zach missed out on this really piss poor.
Did he though?
No, he didn't miss out.
He missed out. Zach, if you were gonna miss a night, this was the one.
This was the night.
So you know what really makes insult to injury here?
Yeah.
I'd like to shout out to a friend of yours that I just got to meet.
Okay.
Art.
Oh, Art Malinock.
Shout out to Art. Art brought us a beautiful bottle of scotch that I liked very, very much. The Glen Glassa, which is a Highland single malt. It was 8 years old, 56.1%. It was the Total Wine Pick, and it was awesome. Again, a sherry casked scotch.
Yeah.
Bottle 262 of 315. Bottled in 2011. It was great.
It was so good.
It was so good.
It was so good.
Really peaty. Had a great character, a wonderful body.
I don't even know how much that is, by the way. Do you know?
I have no idea, but
it's over $100.
If you're in Vegas, go to the Total Wine on Las Vegas Boulevard and pick up the Glen Glassa.
Do you have a picture of it that you can show people, or is it not really gonna? Can we show them?
I mean, you can try. You can try to show this picture.
Maybe even to get a little.
I loved it. I thought it was great. It's pretty. It's nothing special. I think that's the other thing, that it's very non-assuming. It's nothing special. But what's in the bottle?
It was peaty, and as you all know, I'm not a peat fan, but I liked this.
You had a crazy reaction.
I was digging it.
You were like, ugh.
Yeah, at first it was like, bleh. But there's so much going on. It's so complex. So much complexity.
It was really good.
Very surprised.
Zach went back and back and back and back.
Zach was going bananas over
Yeah, he went nuts for that. It was good. It was really good. The chat, you've been fairly quiet. I mean, I know we don't got a ton of people watching.
No, it's been a pretty quiet night. We get it. It's holiday week, so. This is Askins out there said smelled like a shoe.
Yeah, the saddle leather on that was big.
Yeah, it definitely had a lot of leather.
I was just going to say, I might have offended Mrs. Askins by saying it was like picking up a 50-year-old in a bar. Sorry. I've never done that, but it just seemed like the right thing to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's like old whiskeys. I just picture like some old grandma at the bar, like some old...
Now, I will tell her that I know that her brother has done that.
Well, that's the thing. We're not talking off of personal experience.
Not at all, but I've heard the stories.
And we're talking in generalities here, so...
I've heard the stories.
Yeah.
Tastes like a shoe. Smelled like a shoe. I don't think it smelled... Well, it's definitely smelled like a shoe. I don't think it tasted like a shoe.
Yeah.
But the leather was very prevalent. So, and I will tell you, I'm very proud of Mrs. Askins.
Why is that?
Because she has really... Listen, she's super supported this show. She's very much supported my participation in this. And even more so, she has been very curious. Every time I try something new, sometimes I force it upon her. I'm like, oh, you got to put your nose in this. And she's like, no, I don't want to. I'm like, no, you got to. You gotta get it. And she's like, oh, I hate this. But then there's other times where she'll like try it. And she's like, oh, I like this. And next thing you know, I got to go find myself my own glass because she stole it. Yeah. So I'm very proud of her.
That's good.
Thank you. Thank you for everything.
Shelly out there in the chat said, if you were going to go ice fishing all day in a shanty by yourself, I don't want to go by myself, though. It seems dangerous.
Well, you and me are going... These guys. We're going ice fishing together.
What would you take to drink? One bottle. I'm guessing we get one bottle.
Ooh. I mean, I know what I'm going to pick, but...
If you already know, go. Well, I'm still thinking.
Lagavulin 16.
And you got to tell us why. You can't just throw out a...
Well, Shelly asked the question a few shows ago, if I could only have one bottle of whiskey for the rest of my life, what would it be and why? I said the Lagavulin 16. Because there's just something about that just has its own distinct character. Like, the moment you put it to your nose, the moment you put it to your mouth, you know what it is. There's nothing else like it. But there is something about that I find to be very pleasing. And it's the kind of thing that I feel like I could just drink all day and be, like, very happy with and... pour it in a glass and ice fish. And like, to me, if I'm going ice fishing, that is a day that is for me. It's very much reserved to me. I'm going out there for my own enjoyment, and so why not have something I very much enjoy to go along with my own enjoyment? So that's my choice.
So I want something that's going to give you that big Kentucky hug. I talk about it. I want that heat in the chest. Even though they say alcohol doesn't actually make you warmer, it has something to do with the blood vessels in the winter, and it's actually a bad idea to drink alcohol. Something about constricting your capillaries or something, I don't know, but I think it makes you warm. And I think surviving in the cold is half the battle is mental, where you're just like, if I feel warm,
then I am warm.
So I would go something, a heavy hitter, obviously a big barrel proofer. Blanton straight from the barrel stands out because that is just one hot 68% mother, where it's just wowzer that I want a wowzer. If I'm freezing my butt off ice fishing and digging my hand in the hole with the water, I need something that's gonna blast me whoa. So it's that, but that's sometimes tough to get a hold of for our friends out there. So something that's a little bit more obtainable, which would come in a close second for me, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, obviously. Great Kentucky hug. Yeah. Affordable, easy to find, $60-$70.
Elijah Craig, when are you going to sponsor this show?
Yeah,
we talk about you every episode.
We really do. We reference Elijah Craig. Shout out to Elijah Craig. I don't know who owns them. If there's some big company out there.
Every episode.
Yeah. Let's do let's ask Google.
Yeah, we talk about it every episode. If I'm drinking beer...
Heaven Hill Distilleries owns Elijah Craig. Yeah. It's a brand by Heaven Hill Distillery.
I usually don't like Heaven Hill, but...
So shout out to Heaven Hill.
Heaven Hill juice is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, the 27 people really tater up, but it's not that good. I had it at EBH when we were opening out there.
Heaven Hill?
The 27 they had for $70 a pour.
Wow.
And it's a $2,000 bottle. I have to do it. I have to try it.
Yeah, but we know you weren't paying $70 a pour for that kind of talk. You weren't paying at all.
But still, for a 27-year-old hyped up bourbon, it was not that good.
Really?
It was super leathery, it was very close to this guy.
I bet you I'd love it.
Yeah, you'd probably love it.
That sounds like my line of work.
I tried though. But then on the other hand, I had George T. Stagg that whole night for 20 a pour.
Woo! That's
five
a big deal.
later, 5 George Staggs later. Yeah.
Like George T, like real George Stagg.
Real George T. Buffalo Trace Antique.
For how much a pour?
20.
Yeah, I'd pay that.
Yeah.
I'd pay that's spectacular.
And I was getting like 2 fingers. I was getting the Sinatra special.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Not messing around.
That's great.
I just sat there and drank George Stagg at that bar all night long.
Dang.
For a couple nights during that trip.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can't buy the bottle, at least you know where the bottle is and then pay for the pour. I think
that's
great.
the thing. Yeah, it's great.
I like that.
Barn Door says, alcohol doesn't make you warmer. If you have enough, you just don't care that you're cold. Exactly.
No true statement. That's a true statement.
So I think that's kind of the show tonight.
I'm not sad about it. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm sad
no.
about what we drank, but I like the show.
I'm sad about what we drank. I'm sad Zach wasn't here.
Oh,
But this is Thanksgiving week. We thought we'd have a little off-the-wall show on a Tuesday. I know it's not a normal show day.
Yeah.
So we have a lower viewer count tonight. Not too much going on. But thanks to our regulars. Shout out to all the regulars. Shelly, Patrick, Barndor, Mrs. Askins. Thanks for joining the show tonight.
Absolutely.
Everyone else that joined us, thank you. That didn't chat. Shout out to you guys, though, for just listening and hanging out.
I've got an announcement.
Oh, what's the announcement?
Announcement for the shows for the rest of the year.
Hold on, really quick. Shelly says, you were drinking a beer earlier pre-game. Do you ever drink Leinenkugel?
I love Leinenkugel.
So hold on, and I'm not a big, like, that type of beer person. Is that like the shandy?
They make the lemon shandy.
That's
which
what
is great.
That's what I remember. Like at the pool.
Yep.
I've been at plenty of pools where it's like Leinenkugel shandy, and I just like pound
Summer
those.
shandy.
Summer shandy.
So good.
Woo.
But Leinenkugel makes an Oktoberfest.
Oh, I haven't had that.
That is so good. It's a great dunkel.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, maybe we'll have to.
They make a
grab one
good
of those.
dunkel. It's solid for
So
a good solid
is
German
it just
dunkel.
called Leinenkugel Oktoberfest?
Yes, but it's 100% German dunkel.
Okay. And dunkel is a style of beer.
It's
those who
great.
don't know.
It's
Yeah.
very, very good. But yeah, I like summer shandy. I don't like orange shandy though.
So I also like, what is it, Schafferhofer? What's the other shandy?
Schafferhofer.
Yes! You guys, come on!
Schafferhofer?
You guys know what I'm talking about. In the chat
they
there.
definitely do not.
Yeah.
Schafferhofer. No.
Oh, I just
Summer
fucking
shandy,
blew
though.
your fucking mind here.
Schafferhofer. Hefeweizen.
No, it's a shandy. I don't know why we're getting TLS errors here. Hashtag IT nerd. But we got past that. Yeah, fuck you. Here.
Oh, the guys who make the Radlers?
Yeah, it's like a Radler, but it's a shandy. I thought this was a shandy. You
These are
see this
Radlers.
everywhere.
No, these are Radlers, and they're gross. I don't like these.
Look at this like 1990s loading of the image here.
Look at these that look like you're getting iced.
Yeah, yeah.
Those look like ice.
That's what I'm talking about, Shaw.
Nah.
Oh, you can't really see it on my phone.
That looks straight like you're getting iced.
It is like a Smirnoff Ice. Schafferhofer.
These Radlers, no.
It's like a grapefruit pomegranate Hefeweizen. Oh, maybe there's a better picture. Oh, no, it's not really. Sorry, folks. One of these days, we're going to have a proper video editor when we have a budget to edit in the pictures, the bells, everything we've talked about for these past 20 shows that we've never done. Maybe we don't have the budget for it yet.
We still got it yet.
One of these days when we break the mold here and get
I heard.
monetized.
So hold on. I want to preface here because you may have already been stopped. If you're watching this not live, you may have already been stopped with an ad and go, wait a second. They're saying they're not monetized. They don't have ads. Well, YouTube just announced that they're putting ads on everything.
Yeah,
We just don't qualify yet.
We don't.
So you might have gotten an
qualify
ad,
yet.
but we're not getting any of that.
Yeah,
Not yet.
we'll let you guys know.
Thanks to
Trust
you.
us.
We might. So
We are ready to sell out, but not for the sake of reviews. We're ready just to sell out so we can make some extra money to buy more whiskey.
we just want to buy more
We
whiskey.
just want to.
We're
We just
not
want to
looking
put
to
it
be
back.
millionaires.
All we want to do is put it back into the business.
We just want to buy some more alcohol.
Or into the reviews. We just want to buy. We need more alcohol money. We need camera money. We need some website money and a video editor money.
Sell out with me.
A
All
little
right.
Real Big
Sell
Fish over
out.
here.
I love Real Big Fish.
We'll get there. It's slowly but surely.
All right, so
I see that. Well, there's a lot of people out there. There's been some of these rando big YouTube stars. Their first like 50 videos are all trash, and then all of a sudden they take off and they're like
Magic Journeys. Shout out to Magic Journeys. I'm going to tell you right now. If you like Disneyland and food, go check out Magic Journeys.
I like one of those.
All of a sudden, out
I'm
of
gonna
nowhere,
say which.
their production value just went through the roof. I don't know what they did, but they got a friend because these videos have gotten out of nowhere crazy good.
There you go. So what's the announcement? Sorry, I'm really like we're...
No, it's all right. We're bouncing all over the place. Announcements for the rest of the year, because it's the holidays.
Yeah, what do you got?
And the rest of you need something to wow your friends, if not just wow yourself. We're going to be doing... Wow.
Owen Wilson, wow.
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 We're going to be doing mixed cocktails for the rest of the year. We're going to be sharing a couple of mixed cocktails.
Wow, whiskey and bourbon cocktails, scotch cocktails, bourbon, whiskeys.
Things you can wow your friends with where you're like, oh my God, you know what we're going to make? And we're not just talking like, oh guys, I'm going to show you a craft cocktail that I can only make in 2 different glasses. We're going to be talking about how to mix up a whole pitcher and pour it over ice and enjoy your friends. Because this is the time, I know it's COVID, be safe, but this is the time that when you have some friends over, you should be drinking something that can kill the coronavirus in your body.
And that's a great point.
60% alcohol.
Cheers to that.
Kill the coronavirus.
That was the vaccine all along.
This has been the vaccine all along.
With that being said, there's some awesome cocktails. One of my personal favorites that come to mind, the Sinatra Smash.
Any smash. A whiskey smash. So the Sinatra Smash at Wynn is very, very good. But it's based off of a very, very popular whiskey cocktail, the Whiskey Smash, which is a whiskey and fruit cocktail.
So good.
The hot toddy, it's wintertime. It's time to talk about
But
toddies.
that's the thing, like, and hot toddies. And here's the thing, like, we know you have relatives, friends, and family. Some of you may be the hardcore, straight-up bourbon, whiskey, scotch drinkers on the rocks. We get that. But you're going to have a lot of friends and family come over, and they don't want anything to do with that.
Let's hope they do.
Well, yeah. Even your close friends, whatever, come over. Or on Zoom meetings, team meetings, whatever. A lot of people don't like straight alcohol. We get that. So we're going to have the few cocktail shows for the holiday season. I think that's a great idea.
And maybe you need to clean out your liquor cabinet. Maybe you've got some whiskeys that have been in there for a little while because you're like, I don't know what to do with this. It's gross.
These need to go into a giant pitcher and just...
Except for this one. This one I wouldn't let you serve to friends.
No, that's going in the trash.
I wouldn't let you serve that to anybody.
And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know how it made it that low in the bottle. I don't remember drinking
that. Yeah, who
that.
drank this?
Yeah, I don't know. I've just held on to it for years.
You must have got that from a friend.
No. I vividly remember going to Trader Joe's. I bought like 2 of them.
Come on.
Because I was like, whoa, $40 for a 23-year-old scotch? What?
Proof that we have developed our palates.
Yeah.
Because that is awful.
Dog shit.
It's terrible.
All right,
that's the show.
That's a show. Don't forget to subscribe. This is our pitch moment. Like, subscribe. It takes
ring the bell.
You don't have to do anything. Just like and subscribe.
More importantly,
that's all we ask
hit that little share icon with the little balls.
If you can share it on your feed, we still need like 1,500 hours of viewing before we're monetized.
More importantly, though, could we advertise some Instagram here?
Yeah, go right ahead. Follow us at
The Barrel Buds
on Instagram.
You can follow me at Kickaskins.
You can please join our Facebook group. We have the Barrel Buddies Facebook group. We're going to start making that more active.
As we should. So
my thought process, and I will talk to you this a little bit more offline, but I want to tell our friends out there because I'm excited about this. If we can get like a good 100 to 300 people in the Facebook group, we could potentially start doing some barrel picks.
How about some razzles?
Well, that's technically illegal on Facebook groups, but yeah, I'll do a few razzles. I don't care. Everybody else does it.
So how's it?
I mean, I know that's no excuse, but I'll throw some razzles on that group. I don't care.
Yeah.
And I got some good stuff to razzle off. So.
Well, with that, I think we're going to retire to the fire.
We're going to retire to the fire this evening, and we thank you all for joining the show. And you all have a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Yes.
Now's the time to be
if
grateful.
You celebrate it, if you don't celebrate it, even if you have the day off, enjoy the day off.
We're thankful for you.
Yes. Thank you all for joining the show tonight. Cheers. Cheers, friends.
Cheers.
We'll catch you next week.